All right, let's pull back the curtain on something you've probably never seen, but that affects almost every single thing you buy. We're talking about customs clearance. And to really get our heads around this invisible engine of global trade, we're going to take a look at one of the busiest commercial hubs on the entire planet, Dubai.
I mean, really, stop and think about it for a second. That phone in your hand, the shoes on your feet, they've all been on this wild journey, crossing oceans and continents. But here's the thing. It's not just a simple trip from A to B. There is a massive, high-stakes checkpoint that every single one of those items has to pass through.
And there is no better place to see this in action than Dubai. I mean, this is a city that has literally built its identity on mastering the flow of goods around the world. It's a true crossroads where stuff from the east and the west doesn't just meet, it constantly flows.
The scale of it all it's just mind-boggling. Every single day, a constant tide of shipping containers rolls into its ports, while cargo planes are landing like every hour. And each one of them is a new puzzle that has to be opened, checked, documented, and cleared. It is a monumental task, and right at the heart of it all is customs.
Okay, so this is where things get really complicated. This is what people in the business call the customs maze. And believe me, for any company trying to move products from one country to another, this is the #1 bottleneck. It's the one spot where a perfectly planned supply chain can just grind to a screeching halt.
So what makes it such a nightmare?
Well, it's really a triathlon of headaches. First up, you have this mountain of complex documents. Every single detail has to be 100% perfect. A single typo can literally stop $1 million shipment cold. Next, you have to navigate this tangled web of regulations that are constantly changing. And if you mess up either of those, you run headfirst into the third and most painful hurdle, delays. And delays cost a ton of money.
So who is actually stuck trying to figure all this out? This isn't just some abstract problem for governments. Nope, this is a daily, high-stakes battle for the very businesses that make our economy run.
And the list of who's on the front lines here is huge. You've got the import and export businesses. I mean, this is their entire livelihood. You've got freight forwarders, whose whole reputation is built on being on time. You've got the retailers you and I shop at, waiting for products to put on their shelves. And you've got manufacturers whose entire production line could shut down without the right parts. They are all depending on this.
Okay, so with the stakes that high, how does anything ever get through? How do these businesses succeed? Well, here's the secret. They don't do it alone. They hire a guide, a specialist, whose entire job is to chart a safe path through that customs maze.
And this guide is called a customs clearance service. You can think of them as expert agents who basically take on all that bureaucratic pain for you. Their one job, their only job, is to make sure every single shipment is compliant, correct, and cleared as fast as is humanly possible. And what they handle is, well, it's pretty much everything. They're not just filling out forms. They're the ones talking directly to authorities like Dubai Customs. They're figuring out the exact duties and taxes that need to be paid. They handle everything from huge commercial shipments all the way down to a personal package. And they provide that real-time tracking that lets a business owner actually sleep at night.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. Using one of these services isn't about convenience. For many businesses, it's about survival. When you're working with the razor-thin margins of global logistics, having an expert on your side isn't a luxury. It's the only thing standing between a smooth operation and a complete disaster.
You can really see the two different paths a business can take here. On the one hand, you can try to go it alone, and you're basically gambling with delays, surprise costs, and regulatory nightmares. Or you can work with an expert, and suddenly that path is clear. It's fast, it's cost-effective, and you know you're compliant. The difference is just night and day.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. The real value they bring isn't just getting the box from here to there. It's about protecting a company's two most important assets, its time and its money. Because every day a container sits stuck at the port is a day of lost sales.
So how do they do it? What's their secret? It's not magic. It's a toolkit they've built over years and years. It all starts with knowing every single rule and procedure inside and out. But the real secret weapon? It's the human connection. It's having established professional relationships with the actual people at the ports, at the airlines, and in the customs offices. That's something you just can't get from reading a rule book.
So when you put all these pieces together, it becomes so clear. Customs clearance isn't just some tedious administrative task. It is a vital, invisible engine that is quietly powering a massive piece of our global economy.
And that's really the big takeaway. Without these experts on the ground,
managing all this complexity at the borders, the supply chains that we all depend on for, well, everything, they would just seize up. These services are the grease in the gears of global trade, making sure the world's products get to where they need to be, right when they need to be there.
Which kind of leaves us with one last thought. Customs clearance is just one of these incredibly complex, totally essential services that's humming along behind the scenes. It really makes you wonder, what other invisible engines are out there, quietly powering the world that we live in?